A Gurugram housing society has penalized domestic helpers and delivery personnel for taking the main lift instead of the service lift. The problem was exposed after a Reddit user posted images of the notice and fine slips, which created much buzz online. The netizens said, "Why separate lifts for domestic workers and residents?" But the society claims that it is for the safety of residents and hence the policy has been adopted. The policy appeared to limit workers' use of elevators, which are meant for residents, and have been urged to use the service lifts instead. Now, to talk about it more in detail, I'm being joined by Pallavi Jain, social activist and residents, and Dinkar Pandey, Vice President of Noida Extension Flat Owners Welfare Association. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me at this moment. Before I come to you, Pallavi, Mr. Dinkar Pandey, how do you see fine being imposed on a maid? It is rather a small amount for you, but it might be a bigger for the daily wage worker. 100 rupee fine for using a residence lift instead of a service lift.
Let us go into the root cause of this. Normally, when we are categorizing service lift and passenger lift, there are 2-3 problems which creates this kind of necessity. One, every vendor, like if you see newspaper vendor or milk vendor, they tend to stop on every floor, and they also tend to make these things dirty. So to keep it clean, maintain the hygiene, and to make passenger lift work in fast and efficient manner, especially during school time and other times, the rules has to be made, because when you are 5 minutes late and running to the school bus, you don't want lift to be stopped at every floor. Now, discrimination is the word which is maintained here, and we don't want to discriminate based on the service class or maid or passenger or resident. But to maintain the hygiene and to maintain the cleanliness and to make sure that we are reaching our floor at time, we have to make these rules. Fine, you can impose or not, but to stop this, you have to issue the warning and you have to maintain some instance there. Without that, I think passenger lift in high rises where you have 30 floors or 25 floors, it is very difficult to have that with service class, with dustbins. Think of that. To clean the service lift, we can have dedicated person, but to expect that every lift had dedicated person, it increases cost as well. This is the reason not only Gurugram society, most of the society has rules and there is dedicated service list.
Okay, I take your point and I'll come back to you. Pallavi Jain, do you agree with imposing a fine on a daily wage worker just for using the same lift as you and I do? Ma'am, if you can hear me.
Certainly. First of all, good morning, everyone. I believe we have to look at this objectively. So, maids and service workers certainly are respectable citizens of the society. However, the rule applied is based on the function and not the identity. Anyone performing service-related tasks would be asked to use service lift for practical reasons. I've known many residential and commercial buildings worldwide have separated service lifts for logistics, not to segregate people, but to streamline operations.
While we talk about, streamlining operations, and Mr. Pandey, let me come back to you. You were saying that it is not easy to maintain the cost efficiency that will take to clean up the lifts. But do you think that, giving them separate lifts also, okay, I am also being joined by Dr. Akriti Bhatia, social activist and labor rights activist. Before Pandeyji, I come to you, let me go across to Dr. Akriti Bhatia. Ms. Bhatia, do you agree with a fine on a daily wage worker for using the lift that we all do?
Absolutely not, Aditi ji. I feel that it reflects a very rotten mentality in urban spaces of gentrification and an inherent bias against fellow human beings. And I feel that even logistically, if you have 2 lifts, generally just 2 lifts, then according to the traffic and other things, you can manage, and even the residents can, take up the other lift. And there could be threats from upper class also. So it reflects a class divide and a caste-like divide that is very much like part of the urban living, and in the name of aesthetics, in the name of all sorts of things, it's I think this mentality is truly problematic. Workers are
Right.
the city makers. On their backbone, all of the services are being enjoyed, but at the same time, the basic element of dignity is missing. If you look at the delivery persons, I mean, I've seen cases like where because of this 10-minute delivery, and the kind of services that are there, there've been rampant accidents.
Right.
And first thing that the delivery person himself is checking is that after if they fall after an accident, is that the food is safe or not caring about their injuries. So this is some
Right.
post.
Point taken. Disturbing mentality. And what about the safety of them rushing to your home to deliver your needs? Mr. Pandey, many people are arguing about it, saying that is equality, above the safety, and the safety thing that the society is also citing, that it is for the safety of the residents who are living there to have separate lifts. But is it above non-discrimination and equality?
We are mixing two things here. Obviously, we are here for equality. We don't want to discriminate. But like other panelists said, for all the operational reasons and for all the practical reasons, we have to mark the differences. Otherwise, why we have service lifts? If you are taking a dustbin, do you think the residents are comfortable going with the dustbin? There is dedicated service list for the dustbin, right?
But Mr. Pandey, do we
are
not? I would like to intervene there. Yes, Ms. Bhatia, I'll give you some time.
Yes.
But Doctor, Dinkar Pandey, do you and I only not generate that waste that is being collected by the people who are doing these jobs? Are the maids not cooking the food that we eat? Do we shun that? Do we have separate kitchen or separate house? No, then why separate lifts?
Okay, so as long as they are traveling as human beings, we all are traveling as human beings, that is fine. But if we are carrying material which has potential to make things dirty, if we have separate service for that and separate cleaner for that, there is no harm in it. We are not saying that if you are going as human being and you are just traveling like that, there is some problem. No. We are honoring that human rights and we are honoring that equality. But if you are carrying some material which will make things dirty, which has some problem, if you have to go floor by floor, if you have to just start from 21st floor and go till first, and every floor you have to drop newspaper, do you think it is okay to use any lift and all the passengers have to stop by at every floor? No, it is not practical, right? So for that matter and for that purpose, if we have separate paths, I don't think there is any harm. We should not classify it.
Okay, Pandey, Mr. Pandey, please hold your thought. Dr. Akriti Bhatia, please respond.
Exactly. I mean, Aditya, I think the case in point that sparked the whole debate was about a house help, right? She wasn't carrying anything, but she was charged. It is sheer, discriminatory bias that is being reflected here. Even pets and dogs are getting more, rights than them. The recent case has shown that the regular visitors list is open for pets. So we really need to uncover this, because even within the household, you will see still in urban spaces people using separate and those kinds of things.
Well,
so I'm saying that even for operational reasons, there can be other models. You need not really have an aesthetically ugly and a low speed kind of a lift and elevator, and then for residents there should be kind of
Doctor, I'm really sorry, Dr. Akriti Bhatia, but due to the scarcity of time, I have to move on. Pallavi Jain, Dr. Akriti Bhatia, and Dinkar Pandey, thank you so much for joining us.